Hi, I'm Lindsay with the Saskatoon Public Library. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that I am bringing this story time to you from my home, which is on Treaty 6 territory and homeland of the Métis. This is the second of a two-part series from this book called Hoping for Home Stories of Arrival. This is an anthology, and Jean Little has written this particular excerpt. So we read about this young girl, Hattie, who had lived her whole life in Formosa, though her parents are Canadian. And when her family moves back to Canada, her mother asked her to start writing this series of diary entries. And Jean Little herself immigrated to Canada from Formosa, which is now called Taiwan, in 1939 when she was 7 years old, just before World War II broke out. So we begin at the entry Monday, August 21st, 1939. Aunt Rose has moved in with us and is helping Mother with the unpacking. Will is not all well, but he is a little better. After lunch, Mother is taking John and me over to Jessie Ketchum's school to arrange for John and me to get enrolled. I wonder if we will meet our teacher. I don't think so. Later. It is a big school. Mother had to show our work from Formosa and prove we could do the lessons here. I saw a girl and a boy who looked about our age, waiting with their father. I wanted to speak to them, but it was not the right time. I heard the father say, "Sit still, Elsie." I think that was her name. She was looking at us over her shoulder. Tuesday, August 22nd, 1939. I can't sleep. I have decided to write about something that worries me in my Canada book. I don't quite understand this thing. This is it. I feel strange here because we are not different. Always we have been special. People have stared at us and talked about us and laughed at the way we look. I thought I hated it, but it is queer. I miss it. I can't understand why it feels as though I am less interesting or something. I will think this over. I wonder if John feels it. If I asked, he would not admit it. I am positive. I feel ashamed almost. Daddy says each human being is unique, one of a kind. But I feel much less unique in Toronto. Wednesday, August 23rd, 1939. I visited Grandma today. It was sort of nice. Grandma tells the same story over and over. I wonder why she does not remember that she just told it. When I came home, Will said he has learned a new Canadian song called The Maple Leaf Forever. He says it has a wolf in it. Daddy laughed and told Will that wolf was a general, not an animal. Thursday, August 24th, 1939. The war, the war, the war. They call it the war now, although as though it has already started. Mother still says they will not be so stupid. Aunt Anne says Mother is too innocent for words. I asked what she meant, but she would not explain. I'm sure it was unkind. Aunt Margaret took me out for an ice cream soda, which was scrumptious. I had chocolate this time. Friday, August 25th, 1939. We went to the movies and saw Charlie Chaplin. People laughed their heads off, but I felt sorry for him. We saw Hitler in the newsreels. How can anyone believe what he says? He seems crazy. I am very glad he is not here in Canada. I think I'm beginning to stop missing Formosa and sometimes feel more at home here. I worry about going to school, though. I've always wanted to, but now I am not so sure. Saturday, August 26, 1939. Mother took us to Boys and Girls House, which is a library filled with children's books. I did not know there were so many books in English. I took out The Story of the Treasure Seekers and a fat book of fairy tales. In that library, they are so nice, and they think reading matters more than anything. Beautiful Joe turned out to be terribly sad. I finished The Secret Garden, and I've started reading it over again. It is the best book I ever read. Sunday, August 27th, 1939. We went to Bloor Street United Church this morning. Mother stayed home with Aunt Rose, and Daddy and the boys and I went without them. This is the first time I have gone to church in Toronto. It was not the same as church in Formosa. For one thing, it was over much sooner. Then, when we said the Lord's Prayer, everyone except the minister mumbled. They didn't even say Amen out loud. They all shut their eyes and bowed their heads as though they were praying to their shoes. Even Daddy did, although at least I could hear him. But even in church, they talked about war and they prayed for guidance and sang, and we sang, "Oh God, our help and aid just passed." John and Will went down with the younger children, but I shook my head and Daddy smiled and let me stay with him. When I got sleepy, he gave me a peppermint and a prescription padded pencil so I could draw. I was glad to get home though, and I read all afternoon. Monday, August 28th, 1939. The other side of our house is empty now. New people are moving in today or tomorrow. I am going to play outside all day so I can see them the moment they arrive. Tuesday, August 29th, 1939. Nobody moved in today. They were busy cleaning, but I was too shy to ask them any questions. Mother says she is sure the family will come tomorrow, although not until afternoon. Wednesday, August 30th, 1939. They came just before 3. I could hardly believe my eyes. The girl is the one we saw in the office at Jessie Ketchum. Her name is Elsa, not Elsie. She is taller than I am and very thin. Her hair is as fair as mine. She has it hanging down in long braids. She wears glasses. She has a brother named Dirk, who is John's age. They don't have little ones, though. Mother baked bread and took them a loaf. She found out their last name is Gunther. Daddy went over after supper, and I can hear the two men talking about war. What else? Thursday, August 31st, 1939. I thought of going over to say hello to Elsa, but I felt too shy. I think she might feel shy too. Jonathan and Will got Dirk to come with them to the vacant lot. John said, "No girls allowed." I didn't care. I hung around waiting for Elsa to come out, but I think they were still cleaning. John says they are German, but they are Canadian citizens. They came from Hamilton because her father lost his job. They aren't a bit like Hitler. Our father is getting ready to start doctoring soon. He has a friend who wants a partner. Friday, September 1st, 1939. The Germans swept through Poland today. I think that is what Daddy said. I didn't ask what he meant exactly because I don't want to have to sit and be told. But it is bad, and it is getting more and more like that. War is coming. I took out chalk to draw on the sidewalk, and Elsa came out with colored chalk. We did not say much, but we had fun all the same. We'd made pictures of houses with white chalk and put in the details like flowers with colored. Daddy was over talking to Mr. Gunther again. They came here from Germany when he was a child. He is afraid of what is going to happen in Europe. Just before Daddy came home, I heard the two of them burst out laughing, though. It was wonderful. It seems ages since I heard Daddy laugh. Saturday, September 2nd, 1939. Elsa and I played dolls all morning and went to the vacant lot with the boys after lunch. We played Tarzan. Elsa got to be Jane, but I did not mind because I got to be the animals. John said we had to have Mowgli in it too. Of course, he's from another book, but we gave in since he is such a great character. Daddy would not come to supper with the rest of us because he is hunched up next to his big radio waiting for news from England. Mr. Gunther came over at 9 o'clock to listen too. Sunday, September 3rd, 1939. Daddy was right. When I got up this morning, he was at the radio already, even though it was early. Then he sent me to get Mother. We all heard the Prime Minister in England declare war. Mother started to cry, although she was quiet about it. The aunts came. We thought of staying home from church, but Mother said today we need to pray. So we went. We sang "Onward, Christian Soldiers" from the children's hymn. For the children's hymn, some people cried. It does not feel real. After, I am supposed to be asleep. I can write by the streetlight outside. Daddy was right about war coming. But I want to say that Mother was right too when she said it would be stupid. I feel very muddled up. But one thing I know now, I will stand on guard for Canada if I can figure out how. Monday, September 4th, 1939, Labor Day. School starts tomorrow. Elsa and the boys and I spent most of the day in the vacant lot, which we have named the Greenwood. We did not talk about the war or school starting. When we came home, the four of us arranged to meet in the morning. If our mothers come to school with us, we will go together so that when they have to leave, we will still have each other. Tuesday, September 5th, 1939. I only have one page left, but that is fine because there are only 2 moments I want to remember. The first moment is when we had finished singing "God Save the King." "Remain standing, class, while we sing 'O Canada,'" Miss Murdoch said. Elsa and I are in the same class. We sit right across the aisle from each other. We had talked about this, and we looked at each other and smiled when we came to our home and native land. Canada is not my native land. I was born in Formosa. Elsa's parents are Canadian citizens, but she was born in New York while they were visiting her aunt and uncle. We sang the words anyway. We are different enough, but I was glad she was there. The rest of the day was long. We came home for lunch at noon, but we had to go back. Then, when the afternoon ended and we came down our road, Will was waiting on the front steps. When he saw me coming, he jumped up and ran to the door yelling, "Hattie's home! Hattie's home!" And I was. The end. So again, if you're interested in reading the rest of this book, it's available as an ebook on saskatoonlibrary.ca. Thanks for watching.